right, welcome to Gen X Rated, Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
A little frazzled, but we're here and we're ready to go. So we'll take it.
And for some backstory, we potted on Tuesday, but my audio was bad. As Uncle Bill said, we were having difficulties and there was no video. So only Uncle Bill and a black screen. And
I'm just not that entertaining, honestly.
You were entertaining. It was a good show. We'll try and work in some of the stuff from Tuesday into today's show. We might be limited on some of the visual aids, but we'll do our best. It's all we can do, Billy.
It's all we can do.
Yes. So I don't know where you want to start today. There's certainly a lot going on across the board. A whole bunch of stuff with the economy, with the Pentagon.
Let's start there. How are the markets looking today?
Well, as we talked about the other day, the markets aren't a great indicator per se on how things are going. We know during tough times that Trump was able to talk about the economy when it was good, and it was because of him, and when it was bad, it was because of Biden. So the markets are a little bit more responsive today, but again, we're playing the game where China says they're not talking to Trump, and Trump's saying that he's making these deals behind the scenes. So one of them, I'm sorry.
I can't say who's lying for sure, but Trump is pretty much a proven liar. So I'm going to say that China's probably right.
I think so too. The problem is with these tariffs that already the U.S. imports $600 billion worth of goods from China annually. It seems like quite a bit. 95% of that is ocean freight. So the containers that come over with all the crap you order. I mean, I think we talked about Amazon's already at 70+% of the stuff that they sell is through China. But with the tariffs, if they stay, you're looking at a $2 trillion hit to economic activity. That means thousands of businesses fail. It means millions of people get laid off. We already saw that with the local or with the state government. And then this has only gone on, 3 weeks of tariffs, and the ocean container bookings from China are already down 60%.
Well, we're already hearing about that. We have a friend that does exactly that. She does those container bookings, and she told us, and it wasn't, when was it? Was it last week? And she told us their bookings were way down
in the last 2 weeks. Now, a lot of these companies knew the tariffs were coming because Trump kept talking about it. So they really stocked up on a lot of their inventory. But as that fades and we bring nothing else in, by summer, you're going to see some shortages on the shelves, which is not going to make people really thrilled when you can't.
And you're going to see more layoffs. That's something that happened in the U.S. steel industry too.
Yeah.
In the late 60s. So every time the contract, the steelworkers USW contract came close to being renegotiated, so like say 6 months before that, all of the big steel buyers, all the major U.S. Automakers, all the heavy industry equipment operator builders, they would load up. They would buy a shit ton of steel. So in anticipation of there being a union disruption or a work disruption. And so they were stocked up. So when the contract was finally signed, the head of the USW was able to say, hey, I got us a wage increase, but 3/4 of you are going to be laid off. So that looks a lot like this. And we all know how well that worked out for the U.S. steel industry. I mean, we saw that in person as it collapsed in Pittsburgh in the 70s. So great job, Trump.
Well, and you're looking at, like you said, dock workers, warehouse workers. I mean, all this stuff has to be warehoused. It's a lot of jobs that aren't necessary if you're not unloading any containers.
Yeah, and the frustrating part is this was all self-inflicted.
By choice, absolutely.
By one man's whims, one man who doesn't even understand how tariffs work.
I know, it's pretty crazy. But he surrounded himself with people that also don't necessarily know how tariffs work.
He surrounded himself with a bunch of goons who wear little gold-plated Trump medallions and march in lockstep and, repeat everything he says and praise the great leader.
It doesn't seem to be taken off really well. I haven't seen many of those pins yet.
God.
They did. So Lutnick came out and was praising Trump and his amazing work on these trade policies that they're building so many factories. This is what's going to happen. So we can get into the remake the American dream with the trade craft, is what he kept calling it. The trade craft, bringing it back.
Yeah, we're bringing it back, but only this time there will be no union protection. So you won't have any kind of wage protection, health insurance. So yeah, tradecraft, get the fuck out of here.
It is a bit offensive. With that being said, the weekly jobless rates were up 6,000. I think last week it was 222,000, or it was 216,000. Now we're up to 222,000 people. Again, a lot of that we're doing it ourselves by getting rid of government workers that we don't really care for. To that point, I saw many pleas on the USPS today, the postal system, that they feel like with DeJoy gone, who was a big Trump supporter, they're concerned because now it's Trump and Musk coming after privatizing the postal system, which, as you know, I'm a huge fan of. I believe in it. Most of the speakers for the post office say it's the postal service. It's not the postal business. It is in our Constitution. And I will say now with the firings that they've done, because they did make deals under Biden to have early retirement for people. I did talk to my postal carrier about that. They understand that. That's not really a terrible thing if they're ready to retire. And that was about 10,000 jobs. But already we're seeing in rural America that they're starting to feel the effects of that. For one, I know that Wyoming is going to stop their afternoon pickup. And the post office biggest service is for rural Americans, places that don't get very well traveled, places that are hard to get to. The Postal Service shows up. They know their communities. Now you privatize it, it's going to be a lot more expensive. And there's no guarantee you're going to get what you ordered anyway. So we got to stick up for the Postal Service. They've been with us, like I said, woven into the Constitution, 1775. This isn't a new thing. I think Trump could start his own shipping business and leave the USPS alone.
That would play out about as well as Trump steaks, Trump water,
Trump University.
Trump University. I mean, everything he touches turns to crap.
Well, and we're doing all these cuts. So you would cut the Postal Service or try and privatize it. Now you're not getting your deliveries. The FDA already suspended the milk testing because, you know, we don't have enough workers is honestly why they're doing it, which is sad. Be careful on the milk you drink, know where you're getting it from. And Trump's just moving on. So we are getting a few journalists that are pushing back and asking him legit questions. He'll either say, don't talk to me, or he'll just lie. But at least we're getting a little bit of pushback. They asked him today why you wouldn't tax the millionaires. And his feeling is that they'll leave if you do it. So he doesn't want to tax millionaires. Well, it's a big world. Now, back in the day, he was stating that you would move state to state. You would move to Texas, Florida, someplace that didn't have a federal income tax.
No, state income tax.
Well, that is state. You're right. They would have to pay federal. But at least it would nullify some of the tax pain. His feeling is now with the travel that we can do worldly, people will go to other countries.
Well, but they'll still have to pay those taxes. I mean, depending on which country they go to. Now, I'm sure there are some where they won't have to, but I mean, you know, the UK, the European countries, if you want to become a citizen there, you're going to have to pay taxes, and they'll pay a lot more.
Yeah, but they will get health care.
Yeah, which would be nice. I think that's a pretty good trade-off, but
maybe that's not the worst thing. And
that's just me personally.
Sure. And you speak of the Europeans. European travel to the U.S. is way down. It's in losses of $90 billion of people not coming. Just some examples. Austria, 25% less people are coming here. Denmark, 40% less. Germany, 30% less Germans are visiting. Norway, 25%. Sweden, 20%. Spain, 25%. And of course, the UK is only at 15%, but we do have a lot of business with them and why people would be coming back and forth. But for the most part, people are avoiding coming here, which is going to hurt our tourist industry quite a bit. But I do feel like a lot of these companies voted for this gentleman. So you kind of get what you ask for.
Yeah, but the sad part is, I mean, you know, the companies may take a hit on the stock price. Some CEOs may, well, they'll be fine. It doesn't matter. They may hear about it from their board, but the fact is, it's the working people. It's the people downstream at those companies that are going to take the hit, that are going to lose their jobs, lose their income, lose their health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
The old saying, shit rolls downhill.
For sure. Well, and we'll all be feeling that because, if you don't have a job to go to, Trump can talk about gas prices being under $2, which is a lie. But it was another lie that he kept stating today. It's right up there with gas prices. But my point being, if you have no place to drive to, you don't have a job, you don't really have to worry about gas prices being under $2.
Yeah. Well, I was in the grocery store this morning, and it looked like the egg prices were down a little bit, but the egg inventory was way down.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, they, excuse me, they had thousands of eggs at the Easter egg hunt at the White House. So don't worry. We're coming back. He just makes up numbers. There were 3 instances where he said egg prices were down 89%, 93%, 78%. We're just spitballing here. It's just numbers.
Dude, he just lies. And I can't believe there's people that out there that are still so gullible that believe it. I mean, he's a proven liar. He lies all the time. He's always been a liar. I mean, This is a guy that made up his own publicist that would call people and say, "This is John Barron, that Donald Trump. He's a great guy. He's nailing lots of supermodels." I mean, dude, how long does it take you to catch on that this guy is nothing but a shyster and a grifter and a host of other things that aren't good?
And a pretty terrible person, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely doesn't have our interest at heart, which is understandable when you're Trump, because he can't even remember who we are half the time.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like rural America, you take away the post office, the postal service. So a lot of them don't get their meds. They don't get their deliveries. But they're going to be hit even harder because they're shutting down rural healthcare centers.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a harder time getting healthcare. A lot of those people are on Social Security. They're retired. They're going to see a big cut in, their monthly
20%.
income. Yeah. I mean, he's really sticking it to them.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's by design. I really don't think it's on his radar, but I do think the people that designed 2025, the Heritage Foundation people, this is the playbook. They want you in need and they want you desperate.
And they don't care if you're dead.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out great for them, but we will see. We don't take care of anything. So just to come back to more Trumpisms, can you see this on the audiovisual? It's the fossil fuels again. We're back to this. There was a study that came out today. It said half of Americans, about 156 million people, live in places with failing grades or unhealthy levels of ozone or particle pollution. So this is the air we breathe every day. I know, and we're going to get to the autism as well, but I know that we talk a lot about, the environment could be causing a lot of these problems. There's more. I mean, you can see there seems to be no good that's going to come from this kind of scene that you're seeing up here, all this stuff in your air. It does cause cardiac arrest, dementia, and premature death. That would seem to make sense, but we're all in on the fossil fuels, right? From 1991 to 2020, the fossil fuel companies caused $28 trillion in climate damage. So we talk about our debt, these trillions, billions, it's more than I can comprehend, but it's a giant number. And it's not that much time for them to pollute the environment. And then obviously we're going to have health effects because of this. I just don't get it.
And a lot of those health effects are going to affect people of lesser means, lower income, people that live by highways, people that live by factories. And maybe that's by design. I don't know. But it's extremely short-sighted, and it's just cruel, and it's just so unnecessary. I mean, they knew about this 40 years ago.
Yeah.
There were hearings in DC on this. Now, in a sane society, it would be time to pivot. It would be time for the industry to say, hey, we've had a good run, but why don't we take some of these resources that we've accumulated, because we're all filthy rich, and figure out the next big thing. We'll put that money into research, and we'll develop, new sources of energy, cleaner sources of energy.
Sure.
Instead, they chose to put that into lobbyists and a huge PR and ad campaign saying that global warming was a hoax. Again, just short-sighted and cruel, and just done basically out of just greed.
And people still believe that too. If you're on that side of the fence, you're going to stick with that. It's a hoax. Global warming. Look how cold it's been outside. Like,
Yeah, it's hard to argue though with a freak tornado that rolls through, or the summer-long droughts that come through, or the torrential rainstorms, which we saw three in the past 5 weeks.
yeah, well, Arkansas got hit really hard. They asked for federal aid through FEMA. It was turned down.
Of
Though
course.
though Huckabee Sanders did mention that Trump put out a tweet that he loves Arkansans and that he was there to support them.
But
So,
not that much.
so she circled back for more funding because they've got some major issues after the storms. And he said, no, not warranted. And we're moving on. You made an interesting point about the people that suffer about the air quality. I know we've talked about it with Gene too. They took these laws off the books for most of these industrial areas, which is where mainly brown and poor people live, because apparently nobody cares about their health. Today, there was Trump killed a landmark civil rights settlement that required Alabama to address raw sewage pollution, and try and guess what these areas are in Alabama.
I'm guessing probably lower income and yeah.
Black. Mainly black residential areas. The reason why they pulled back on this settlement, DEI. I mean, you can bend that thing into anything to make it work for you.
Well, you can bend it into DIE because that's what's going to happen.
Good one. Well, they said you can't spell hatred without red hat.
That's pretty much true.
Absolutely.
We went to a stand-up performance last night. So it was like 8 local comedians, and nobody got really political, but some of them, kind of made jokes that were maybe a little progressive. And there was a guy sitting across from me in a red hat, and he did not look amused at all. I don't think that guy's mouth even twitched all night long. Now, maybe he's just a tough laugh.
Could be.
I don't know. But
yeah, it's nice that it's out there. They did test the room, which I thought was pretty interesting. Most people have common sense. This was a cross section of people. And I don't think anybody except maybe Red Hat was a little bit off put by it. But all I can tell you is the DEI thing is ridiculous to use it in this where it's literally a civil rights settlement.
How does that even apply? So I hope that's going to be challenged in court.
Well, it starts with Bondi. The attorney general is the one that pushes this stuff. Then we go to our maybe Homeland Security. Maybe it's the Interior Secretary. I mean, they're all under Trump. So the interesting part about this raw sewage thing is, and I've seen it probably in the last decade, it's a failing sanitation infrastructure. So they literally don't have plumbing to get from their toilets to the curb to a waste facility, however it works at your house. They can't afford septic tanks. This is west of Montgomery, Alabama. So that's not an option. And what happens is after floods, and we've seen this on video, it's raw sewage. You're standing in it. It's in your yard. People are getting sick from it. It's a serious issue. So what do? They're doing the best they can. They dig these giant trenches and try and move the sewer waste and the sewage. It's like, this is America. Nobody should have to live that way when we have others that live at the other side of the spectrum amazingly well.
Yeah. And again, these are people that pay their taxes.
And you're not talking about roadways. You're not, I mean, we have an old water system. You see the videos of New York and the issues they have with old pipes and stuff. This should be, we should all not be standing in our own waste in our front yard, period.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's pathetic.
It is. It's I don't know. I can't even comprehend why you would do that, why that's on the list. We have so many issues going on, and we're going to take this away from people that are standing in their own sewage. I mean,
well, everything that's being done is being done at the whim of one man. This man has literally made himself king. And dude, every day he's got a different axe to grind, and none of these things are helpful. None of these things are presidential. We've just installed a very unstable, toxic narcissist who is apparently unable to do whatever the hell he pleases. and he's got an axe to grind with people of color. He's got an axe to grind with immigrants. He's got an axe to grind with pretty much anybody who's not a billionaire.
Yeah. Or can't do something for him.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to come back because you said that to Kilmer Garcia, his wife, Jennifer. Let me see if she can be popped up here. The Department of Homeland Security shared a 2021 prosecution order that had her address on it. So now people were showing up at her house. She had to move to a safe house because people were coming and harassing her.
What the hell is wrong with people?
And why would you do that? Why would you expose that? Why would you give out her information? I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Now, Homeland Security comes back and says, well, all of that information is public domain. But
that is
here's
not
the thing.
Public domain.
Nobody was digging for it, first of all, if it was. And second of all, you're the ones that put it out there.
Yeah, that's called a doxing.
Mm-hmm. It's messed up.
That's really messed up. It just shows you these people that Trump has brought in this regime are just among the worst.
Yeah, and they are the worst. I think we all know that. The hairdresser kid, I'm very concerned about because nobody has seen him. The 3 other politicians went down there. All they wanted to know about was his well-being. No answers, no sighting. He wasn't somebody that met. We saw what happened the last time. They were able to meet with Garcia, and they staged the room. They put margaritas there as if this was such a great time. They let him put on his ball cap.
And they put makeup over his swollen black eye. I mean, yeah, dude, nobody was fooled by that little performance.
No. We do have some politicians now that are fighting back against El Salvador. Anything that comes into this country, they're going after their president because he's not really working with us. So I don't know why companies would work with him.
Yeah, he's just working for Trump. That's Trump's buddy. That's Trump's new business partner. Tax the hell out of his stupid coffee.
Well, it's an LLC out of Miami, so that ain't happening. Okay. Plus, Trump's probably got a cut of that too.
Well, maybe we should all boycott it then, because there are plenty of other good coffee companies.
Yes. She did pop up, right? We did get to see Jennifer. Mm-hmm. All right, just making sure. Based on some of that, I mean, we don't like them. Obviously, they shouldn't be from around here, I guess, is the take. Though he has been here and he is a citizen, he's not citizen enough. So I'm going to put up Pam because we've got different priorities, I think. There's Pam Bondi. And this was a couple days ago. We did talk about it Tuesday, but again, we weren't able to present that. Pam Bondi, they have a new task force. So you got Pam Bondi, you have Marco Rubio, and you have Hegseth. So 3 big players in this administration, and they came out with this task force on combating alleged anti-Christian bias. So if we hear any cross words, there's going to be a problem. So not only are we gutting the State Department, not only are we ruining the Pentagon, though Hegseth did just put in a makeup studio at the Pentagon. He wants to look his best, takes him back to his Fox days.
Look good while he's fucking up.
Yes. While all this is happening, now we're going to go after this anti-Christian bias, which I didn't even really know was a thing.
Is that a thing? I mean, I have not heard it or seen it. I mean, there's a lot of Christians around, probably a lot more than there are of any other religion. So I don't see where they're getting their civil rights taken away, or I don't see where they're getting bashed or where they're under any kind of threat. This is just ridiculous. These people are so paranoid and so thin-skinned and just, I don't even know what they're doing.
Well, they talked about it with the past administration that the Christians were getting squeezed a little bit. And
how so? And again, they don't offer any concrete evidence. In what way? How are they getting squeezed?
Because they said that they were arresting people that were outside of abortion clinics.
Because they were trespassing. I mean, Jesus Christ. Those people are fucking nuts, first of all. I mean, I remember driving past one when
Kendall was young.
When Kendall was young. And, they have these big placards with these horrible image of aborted fetuses.
Yeah.
So you're so worried about the children, and yet you traumatized a 3-year-old girl.
That's exactly right.
These people are seriously disturbed.
Well, they talked about firebombing churches that was stopped. All this was happening under Biden.
Nobody
And
went to
then
firebomb a
Easter,
church unless it was a black church.
yeah, and then Dylan Roof, it was not a problem. We weren't too worried about that.
Oh, that was fine. Let's take him to Burger King. And, he's had a rough day. Um, it's ridiculous. It's just insane.
Well, it all
And
comes back to the B word. It's the Biden word. Biden was weaponizing the Justice Department against Christians. Meanwhile, he's an amazing Catholic. Think what you want of him, but his service to the Catholic Church has been great. He shows up weekly. I really don't think he was going after anybody else about Christian traditions, etc. It's just, again, a made-up event.
And he wasn't the guy tweeting about how much he's looking forward to going to the Pope's funeral.
Exclamation point.
Gonna be great. Can't wait to be there.
And we did mention Hegseth in the makeup studio. Signal Gate is not going away as much as he wants it to.
It shouldn't.
Nor should it. He's on video talking about how you should be fired when he was not in government. Now he's in government. It seems to be Biden did this, or blame the media, or blame the people that I hired. Of course, KK Caroline comes out and says he's doing an amazing job. Pete's tremendous, blah, blah, blah.
How do you keep a straight face? I mean, how do you even sleep at night? I guess you have no conscience or no sense of self-awareness, or
Well,
you just don't care.
Officially in the cult, though. They were showing at the Easter egg hunt that they were comparing it to Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. It was a little bit creepy. I don't want to go back in time, but you can tell when people are kind of flirtatious or have some kind of chemistry with one another. Their fear is it's her and Trump. I won't go into too much detail, but if you see the video from Easter, it was a little creepy.
I just threw up a little in my mouth. And, she does have a thing for old men.
Yeah, well, and he's the most powerful man in the world, so to speak. So let's hope Hegseth gets his makeup room. He did ask for security clearance for his wife. She's an ex-Fox producer. We talked about this weeks ago when she was in meetings about the Ukraine, which she should not have been. She has no security clearance. That's why he's asking for it now. His wife, Jennifer, I don't think was brought into the administration other than she's his wife. So I don't know why she would have clearance. He did start a separate chat that she was on, his brother's on, his lawyer's on. Everything that Hegseth says that he didn't divulge are lies. There was all kinds of, be it classified or not, it's information that we shouldn't be putting out on your cell phone, which he did. Yeah. And just to combat things, he put the Signal app onto his office computer because the Wi-Fi was so crappy.
Yeah, that's a bit of a no-no, as I understand it. They wanted to lock Hillary Clinton up for far less than that. So, and his brother, the guy that was hired to carry his briefcase around, what's the over-under on how many times you think that guy's either left it in the bathroom or left it in the car or just plain lost it? I'm going to say probably 7.
The good news is there's a bottle of brown bourbon and a nudie mag in a sandwich.
Yeah.
Not really gonna miss it, and Hegseth can find that someplace else.
Yeah, Pete's probably already got one in his desk drawer, allegedly. So I'm sure he's got his bases covered.
And he does bring his wife with him everywhere he goes. So not a huge deal. Some of the things we did miss on Tuesday that we talked about, I'm sure you've heard about RFK's plan to start a database of autistic kids. Let me put him up here real quick. Whoa, boy. We know that go ahead.
How is this legal?
Well, you wouldn't think it would be. It will come in front of the courts. But it's the National Institute of Health. They're collecting private medical records on all Americans. So it could be through private, could be through the government. They're going to try and get through the Medicaid, Medicare to get all this information. What he wants to do is root out the cause of autism by September. Seems like a tremendous goal. But as he's doing that, he's firing everybody else. We're not doing cancer research. We're not doing research on Alzheimer's. We're driving away any brain trust that we have here of young people on campuses that may be doing any of this medical research. So it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It's ridiculous. And, people function just fine with autism.
Absolutely.
I mean, take a look at, Take a look at actors, entertainers, comics, writers. I mean, so many
Oh, it's
people are on the spectrum and they do just fine.
yeah.
They
And
pay their
that's
taxes, they contribute. I mean, it's ridiculous.
well, he, as we restated, he says they'll never pay taxes and they'll never have a job. They'll never go on a date. They'll never get married. I mean, they're going to need the, what is it? The trade craft at this rate. My God, bring it back, baby.
It's just unbelievable. And I mean, it's insulting and it's embarrassing.
It is. As a nation, it's very embarrassing. So this is the same group of people that want no federal gun registry, right? We don't want that. The government will
Yeah, we
come.
can't have that, but we're going to take all of your health information, all of your personal private health information,
Yeah.
and do whatever we want to with it.
Well, it may limit the pool of people they're willing to hire for certain jobs. It may cap you as to how high we're going to let your education go. You want higher education, but you're just not that with it.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're the judge, jury, and executioner. I will say this: it starts with autism, then they move on to the people that have ADHD, then they move on to the people with anxiety / depression / OCD. Then where's it stop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, what are you doing with that information? Because that is a huge amount of people.
RFK Jr. doesn't really care. His whole thing, as we know, is to just make sure that vaccines are blamed for autism.
Dude, what is with that guy? What is his fascination, his heart on with vaccines?
I don't know, but he's kind of fried his brain, and I think he's kind of a one-trick pony. This is what he wants. This is
Yeah, and he looks like the last sweet potato left in the bin at Aldi's. Just all kind of gnarled and misshapen and red and just like nobody's interested. They can't give that thing away.
You're right about that. And I'll just pop this up. We missed it the other day. These two. Very tight quarters. She will defend him till the end. He's the greatest man ever. His policies are tremendous. And they started putting that Tim Pool guy, who was a right-wing blogger and podcaster. He's now got a seat in the briefing room. Not that the AP service does, but he does. And basically his role is just to ask questions to her, how she puts up with the media that's so belligerent and mean. And
no, I know, unfair, very mean, very unfair.
How do you even deal with it?
It's ridiculous.
But if that's the kind of news that we're going to present, then Trump can keep saying the same lies over and over about eggs, about groceries, about China. I asked him today, you said that you're negotiating with China, you're negotiating with these 35 countries on tariffs, which is not happening. China flat out said no. She's not talking to him. So Trump will say, oh, you know, I told the last president that was assassinated, we had a great relationship. And so he just moves on to another shtick of lies type of thing. When he was pushed on this today, he said that their prime minister had spoken to his administration. Again, China's saying, no, we're not talking to you at all. We don't have to. We don't care.
Yeah, we're
You're
not
hanging
interested.
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the other countries are going on. They're forming new trading relationships and trade blocks, and we're going to be cut off.
And they have to, right? I mean, they can't wait for us, and we don't have anybody's back. So that's really the issue. I mean,
well, and Trump is so unstable.
Yeah.
I mean, he is literally all over the place. You just don't know what he's going to do next.
He's definitely hard to keep up with, and none of it's good.
None of it's good.
So we'll see. Today, again, he's spouting about the great numbers with the economy. I'm not necessarily seeing that. I don't really trust the stock market, other than he is doing an ebb and flow. So his guys are making money off it, and I guess that's great. But how much is enough at the expense of everybody else?
Mm-hmm. So, they don't care. Nobody else exists in their little world. It's all about them. And we should all be grateful we're even allowed to breathe their air and take up space on their planet.
I think you're right about that as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, well, to that point, U.S. existing home sales are the lowest they've been since the financial crisis. I don't know if there's a correlation to that. I'm going to say probably coming. We already know the inventory in Florida is tremendous of people trying to get out from under their homes but can't. So we shall see. The other thing that Kennedy was doing was he wants to pool. There's a national recommendation for children to get the COVID-19 shot. He's not so sure about that. So even though that falls under the CDC would pull it, but you have the Food and Drug Administration that tested it to begin with. We got it out there. We saved a lot of lives with the COVID vaccination. It was okay. We didn't start with the youth, but once they did enough testing that it was okay for them to take the shots, they still monitor it. This is something that continues to go to this day. That's how research works. You just don't take one cross section from one day and then you know the answers. So he wants to get rid of that. And the Food and Drug Administration saying there's no reason to, but he's the boss. So if he wants to do that, maybe it'll come down to the parents, or maybe there just won't be any vaccination to get. I really don't know. But this all falls under research, which they really just don't respect anymore.
Yeah. Well, and what about like the shingles vaccine, the pneumonia vaccine? I mean, all of those.
Yeah.
He's going to make those go away too? Because I don't think anybody
one
wants
thing
shingles.
at a time. Shingles might be up his alley, so maybe he won't get rid of that just yet.
He looks like a shingle, a shingle rash.
He is a shingle rash. And this kind of just filters down. So I thought it was kind of interesting. They were talking about the youth in this country. Young people thinking the U.S. is on the right track is at 15%. I mean, that to me is astonishing.
Well, it's interesting because two of the comics last night were younger people. And they both, as part of their stand-up, were talking about how broke they are, how unemployed they are. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
The other funny take was about Aldi's, where they were saying, you used to have a bunch of jalopy cars in Aldi's, and now you're looking at your Lexuses and BMWs, and they're like, get out of here. This is our store.
Yeah. Yeah, the Whole Foods crowd has migrated to Aldi's now. That's when you know they're feeling it, when you're seeing Lululemons in the Aldi's checkout.
Absolutely. So 15% of the young people think we're on the right track. Of this survey, 16% are doing really well or very well. So to me, those 16% that are doing well and very well must be the ones that feel like we're on the right track. There's your 15%. The flip side is that 40% say they're barely getting by. That includes car insurance, rent, groceries, that crazy word again, groceries.
Health insurance.
Barely getting by, health insurance. It's not any way to live. It increases anxiety, stress, anger. Where does all that lead to?
Yeah, it's not good for anybody.
Absolutely.
And
it just, again, seems pretty un-American to me.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of correlates because you put these people on an island. 17% feel they have no deep social connection at all. Less than half feel like they have any roots in their community type of thing. Because how can you settle down when you don't exactly know where you're going to be living beyond this next, month, if you're lucky, or if you've actually signed a lease, maybe you have 12 months, but maybe you don't have a job at the end of the day. So it creates a lot of anxiety. One way Trump was looking to make up part of this is they're going to put a new award out for families that have 6 or more kids. They're going to give the moms this award and $5,000.
Yeah, we've seen this before. That's what Hitler's SS did. They literally gave moms that had, I think it was maybe 5, I don't know if it was 6, but if you had that many children, you got a medal and an award and a cash payment. I mean, this is horrific. It's just unbelievable. Dude, so many things taken out of the Nazi playbook. And, if it looks like a Nazi and quacks like a Nazi, it's probably a Nazi. So, yeah.
That's a little bit crazy. I do want to add that the statistics of what it costs to take a child from childbirth to the age of 18 is about $318,000 per child. So,
well, but that's
$5,000.
That's the new status symbol for the wealthy. How many kids do you have? You only have 4. Shh, peasant. That's their thing.
And that same group isn't looking for $5,000. They couldn't care less.
No, there's probably $5,000 laying in their couch cushions in their giant houses.
That could be, but again, they're probably only one banana peel slip from being bankrupt. So you never know what people have, but they want to present that they have a lot. That car is actually leased. My house, I have no equity in. So
yeah.
So we'll see.
Good point.
I just don't really know. The theme's always generally cruelty, how we don't really take care of people, and we're seeing it every day. I mean, whether the markets are up or down, it really doesn't matter.
And I'm wondering, do people of color, are they eligible for that award too if they have 6 kids, or is it just the white women? Because that's what it was with the Germans. It wasn't, you had to be of Aryan stock to
Yeah,
be
that's an
getting that.
excellent
So
point. I don't think
those are the only
so.
people they want breeding.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I don't think there's any awards for that. In fact, they would probably just haul you away if that were actually the case. So
Sure,
I
they
don't
would if
know.
they could.
Yeah, so I don't really know the direction we're going to end up going with these guys, but $5,000 is nothing. Maybe that's like my dad when I was going to move out of a place and I had no furniture. He offered me $100.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that was going to get it done, but I
I
appreciate
think
the thought.
yeah. Nice thought, but not helpful.
No, it was not going to work for us. So again, they're flooding it with everything from your civil liberties to your due process to your environment that you're breathing in to the economy, which it's just eating everybody up.
Yeah.
So
that's part of their plan. Shock and awe.
Yeah. And then contradict yourself, oh, we're never going to turn those tariffs down. Screw those guys. And then we do. But somebody's making money on it. So that's the biggest thing, I guess. Money, money, money.
Yeah. So, don't believe what you're hearing, believe what you see, believe what your experience is, what you're paying for gas, what your job security is, what you're what you're paying for eggs if you can find them. And by now, I mean, a lot of people should have figured out Trump is a liar.
Bit of a liar. Well, if you're in the cult, you don't care.
You don't care.
Just to circle back, that Tim Pool, the podcaster that's in the White House briefing room, was the same Tim Pool that was given $400,000 by Russia to just spew Russian propaganda. That apparently is okay with KK Caroline.
Dude, what about, what's his name? Ed Martin.
He's back, baby.
He's back, baby. After, dude, how much did he get from Russia for appearing on Russian media?
A lot.
Yeah. So, hey, that's our bestie now. We are attached at the hip, or, well, we're on a little leash that Putin leads us around by. And by us, I mean Trump.
And they bombed Kiev last night. I think there were 9 people killed, 70 injured. Trump told him to stop. And he really feels that's probably enough said. They'll probably understand what he meant by that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
But he's not doing much. And they're pushing back at, Crimea, that's got to stay with Russia, and all these things that they want the Ukrainians to abide by. Give the U.S. all your mineral rights. Give the land that they've taken from you. It's now Russian land. They're not really giving the Ukrainians anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and then they just say, oh, well, they don't seem to want the war to end. Russia does, but they don't. I mean, it's just straight up.
Ukraine started it, right? They started this whole thing. They kicked it off. They kicked the hornet's nest. So
yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
And then, of course, Crimea, they blame on Obama. So there's always somebody to blame with this administration. They never seem to take responsibility for anything. I think the American people are understanding enough. If you say, hey, you know what? I was thinking this and it was wrong and I made the wrong choice. I'll do better. But we don't get that. We just blame somebody else. Oh, the media did it. The liberal media. Oh, it was Biden. Oh, it was Obama. I mean, it's getting old. And then today, the 2028 red Trump hats came out.
Whoa.
I know. I mean,
you should get 2. You should get one to wear and one to shit on to cover it up with.
Well, and those, I mean, the guy's old. He's going to be what, 74 on June 14th, I think, or 79?
He's in amazing shape. He's incredibly fit, well conditioned.
5'10", 275. Okay, I'm not buying the other stuff.
Quite the physical specimen.
Oh, yeah. If you believe that, stand closer to him.
They said the odor is unbearable.
I believe it. They'll start wearing like they have at the morgue. You put this thing under your nose.
I'm sure you saw that clip of him sitting there and just farting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But his handlers don't care. I mean,
Justice Spartacus.
We just keep signing these executive orders. The guy reads to Trump what the executive order is. He's half listening if he even understands what he's talking about. And yesterday we went back and we're putting discipline back in school. So you had Linda McMahon, the education secretary. These kids, they need discipline. I mean, we're bringing the ruler back. It's just insane. They were like, under the last administration, the teachers couldn't do anything. I mean, I just don't remember having so much chaos in elementary school. The K through 6 thing, judges have fought back and have pushed back on his getting rid of the DEI, which again, he's telling them what they can read, what they can learn. Those cause more of a stir than student on teacher violence. It's just not something I hear of.
Well, and you're ignoring the main threat of violence in school, which is mass shootings.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Those things happen, Billy.
These
I think
things
we already
happen.
know that.
Yeah, they happen.
Yeah, well, because it's never about the kids, right? I mean,
Don't be a panic can.
This again is about putting the thumb on these students and holding them down. I mean, it has nothing to do with helping their education or helping safety in schools. It has nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, no, education's frowned upon. Okay, just learn what you need to learn to push a broom, or dig a ditch, or mix a cocktail.
And then we'll get into the trade craft, making trade crafts great again.
Yeah, for all these factories that have not been built, probably won't be built.
Yeah, that is definitely not going to happen. And then to that point, we go back to Head Start, which is another thing that we're getting rid of. And who does it take care of? Who does it support? Low-income families. Whatever. Who needs it?
Well, and even in this crappy state with its Republican supermajority, who are a bunch of lunkheads, even they're taking some of that federal funding and putting it back into Head Start. Even these guys.
Snap. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Which is saying something.
For sure, because they know, it's, at least in the rural parts of Missouri, they know these people need the help. And I know it was either you or Gene that always said, like, Putin makes sure those elderly get their checks every month and their bottle of vodka. Mm-hmm. You talked about when the military comes back from fighting, they're getting their checks. He knows enough.
Yeah, because he's terrified of them. Yeah.
And I feel like it's a similar thing in Missouri here, where these guys understand that we better take care of the outliers and the rural communities who actually vote for us all the time. Mm-hmm. It's not asking too much. SNAP. I didn't say they were giving them, hospitals or Wi-Fi or anything they could use out there that might further their education or information. But we'll give them some cash for SNAP.
Yeah, we'll throw a little something your way.
Which, like you said, I mean, even in this state, I'll take it. It's fine. But the rest of it, we don't need. HHS gets rid of another 20,000 people. We talked about the milk quality control. We're not doing that anymore. That's only going to grow into other industries. So again, be careful where you get your food, what you eat, and know what you're eating, because nobody's got your back.
No, it's a free-for-all.
It is. And I would say, the people out in rural Missouri, they have farmers and stuff, but how many family farms are left?
Well, and who's out there harvesting the crops on the ones that are left?
Good point. Yeah. So the food supply could be a little bit short on that end, because nobody's picking fruits and vegetables. It's really not our thing.
Well, and like you were saying, the longer these tariffs go on, we're going to see more shortages. So get used to seeing empty shelves in the supermarket, and get used to not having access to what you need when you need it.
Sure. I'm already seeing that at one of my grocery stores. It could be butter one day. It could be yogurt one day. Could be milk. It's just one of those things. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that it's not coming back, but it may not be there the day that you go, is all I'm saying. Yeah. And that's already happening. And yes, as he continues to dick around with these tariffs and not know what he's doing, we're all going to kind of pay for that.
I mean, he's literally flown this airplane of a country right into the ground just because. Because why? Just because. He says people hate America. Trump hates America, in my opinion, because look what he's done.
Well, and you talked about air safety, basically. We had another jet catch on fire, an engine right before takeoff on a Delta, I think. Mm-hmm. People had to, take the slides to get off that. I mean, we're just not as great as we have been when it comes to safety and putting the best.
And when was the last time you saw something like that before Trump took office?
101 days, and how much aviation disasters have we seen with him on the ground, in the air? The amount of casualties, it's unheard of, frankly.
Yeah.
But then the transportation secretary came out today and just said literally what a shit show it is in his department. Because, hey, if things aren't going right and you're handcuffed, now I blame the guy that had the chair before me.
I mean, it's always somebody else's fault.
For sure. So it was the last administration. They were the worst
They were the worst,
ever.
although I
They
don't
hated
recall any of this
America.
going on under the Biden administration.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're not seeing a whole lot about Biden. He's moved on, unlike Trump, who lost and then stayed around forever, and he's back. I don't know that we're ever going to be able to get rid of this guy, but
God,
I guess we'll see. Time will tell, but I do feel like people are feeling it. It is an issue, and it's a whole table full of problems that are coming down the pike, you know, whether it's, again, your civil liberties or your economy or your healthcare, your education. I mean, it's just a laundry list. It's a lot.
So pick one. There's no shortage to choose from.
No, it's way over the top. So I think I hit most of those hot spots. I still anything you want to add, Billy?
Oh my God. I don't know. And I was going to save this for my happy ending, but you know what? Tonight is the NFL draft, and I will be happy to hear the end, hopefully, of the Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers talk, and the end of the speculation about what quarterback they're going to draft. Hopefully they won't, but
D-lineman.
At least this is going to end. So I'm kind of happy about that.
That's good. I like that happy ending as well. It's kind of the draft. I mean, each team gets one pick in the first round, and that's the whole day. This is all night. You're going to get one pick from each team.
Yeah. Well, and they made an event out of it. And the NFL, dude, they are great at marketing and PR. They know how to. I mean, dude, the combine is on TV now.
I know.
People watch that. But you know, I can remember when the draft was not on TV. You'd get the report on ESPN.
Yeah.
You know, or you'd see it on your local news about what the Steelers did or what your local team did. But dude, nobody cared. And it used to be they would go like, what, 14 rounds, 16 rounds?
Yeah.
They'd sit in these smoke-filled hotel ballrooms and just go on and on and on. So yeah, so tonight you get 32 picks, and then it'll resume tomorrow and Saturday, and it's only 6 rounds, right? 7 rounds?
7 rounds, yep. But it goes on and on and on and on.
It goes on and on and on. And every single player in there has been, examined, analyzed, dissected. So yeah, I'm just kind of glad.
And at the end of the day, nobody knows anything. I mean,
nobody knows anything. Most of these guys, probably will not work out.
Was it 3 years ago? Kenny Pickett, the Steelers took Kenny Pickett in the first round 3 years ago. Every quarterback of that draft went on to do nothing.
Yeah.
6 quarterbacks, all were terrible.
So, it's all just a crapshoot. But in my opinion, you know what? If you want to get a character glimpse at a player, ask the equipment guys, ask the trainers, ask the people that are there every day that see them at their best, at their worst, that interact. They'll give you the straight dope on a dude.
But it may be too late because you already drafted him.
Yeah, you're going to find out for yourself. Your equipment guy is going to find out what an asshole this guy is.
Exactly right. I had this happy ending on Tuesday, which we weren't able to put up for several reasons. But my happy ending was that the U.S. judge blocked Trump's shutdown of the government unfunding Voice of America.
I like that. That's a good one. And now if we could just unfund the Voice of Shay, that would be great.
Sorry, barking dog. I think it's huge. It's, Voice of America Asia, Voice of America Europe, where we're able to put, our actual factual news for nations around the world. Why you would cut that, I don't know. But they went after it pretty hard. It was something Trump wanted to be rid of. But again, these judges just keep pushing back at him. It's nonsense.
Thank God. And they have to. They have to. That's the only thing standing between us and Trump being a complete dictator. The man puts the dick in dictator. We can all agree on that. But Soft power was such a big part after the Second World War in creating, the image and the goodwill that the US built up. American culture. I mean, people and, behind the Iron Curtain in the communist Eastern European countries, they wanted blue jeans, they wanted Coca-Cola, they
Yeah.
wanted to see Kiss, I mean, and then to take all of that away and just withdraw under Russia's thumb is ridiculous. I mean,
Well, it is.
it's insane.
And yeah. And for all those reasons, I mean, you talked about it the last week. I mean, on TikTok, there's certain things that we can't get in our country about our government, right?
Yeah. So get a
Clearly,
VPN before it's too late. And
yeah,
then you can,
exactly.
you're able to see what you need to see. But yeah, they're censoring stuff. They have been.
Yeah. Well,
There's
and
things we're not seeing. I mean, how much did we see about the protests over the weekend on
very
Saturday?
little.
And again, it was a huge turnout.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, you're
know,
right. I mean, that you're allowed to see only what they want you to see.
hmm
That's not super helpful for
Not super
anybody
helpful.
except for the orange guy and maybe Russia. The State Department, with all these cuts, just as a tie-in, we're completely looking to pull out of Africa. I mean, it started where we stopped HIV research because we're not interested.
Yeah,
Those were the communities that we went in and showed humanitarian aid and took care of people so that we could keep our upstanding, position in the world. And we're throwing all of that away. We
yeah.
want to pull up
We're
the
we're punting it away. And who's moving into there? China
China
and Russia,
for sure.
not for humanitarian reasons, just to exploit the resources.
Yeah. Well, they will probably take care of the people too, maybe if there's a watchful eye.
Perhaps I wouldn't
Uh,
count on it. I mean, the Wagner group is involved over there. If that's still a thing, I don't know, but they were. So yeah, I don't think they're really looking to do anybody any favors or show any kind of kindness.
well, bottom line is the State Department doesn't care because those people are brown. I think
Yeah,
that's
not our problem. But
uh,
maybe under Russia, if you get your ass to the mine every day, they won't cut your hands off. But I
I
don't know.
didn't say
I'm just speculating here.
yeah, and I didn't say South Africa, just Africa. Lastly, on that, this is tied to my happy ending, but measles cases are up over 800 cases in
It's a
24
weird happy
states.
ending.
I'm getting to the happy ending.
Okay.
In 24 states, Montana has had their first outbreak since 1999, which again, I mentioned this, you and I, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it is a quarter of a century ago. Big words, century. The good news, the happy ending to that is the AMA has a YouTube page. So the American Medical Association has a YouTube page, not their web page, but they have a YouTube page that gives daily updates on bird flu and any other outbreaks because
Oh, good to know.
the CDC is not allowed to. So part of my happy ending was the fact that I can go on the American Medical Association YouTube page and find out just how close the measles are to me. And tying that in, Gen X, you're in the age group where you could get a booster for your MMR.
Probably a good idea because
Uh,
that is contagious as hell. All you have to do is breathe it in, and it lingers in the air for 3 hours. So if all it takes is one person with measles passing through your gate at the airport.
Sure.
So yeah, not to
Look
be messed
into it.
around with.
If you're 60 plus, then it's too late. But maybe you had a good run already with your inoculation. But look into it. I think it's would be super helpful. Nobody wants to get the measles. It does more than just give you a rash. It has a lot of bad effects. That's why we had a vaccination to get rid of it, and we did.
Yeah.
It was gone, eradicated. 2000. And
You know what?
like
Just
Trump,
get yourself a jar of leeches, okay?
it's
And
back.
just do your bloodletting, and you'll be fine.
Cod liver oil and vitamin.
And cod liver oil.
What was it, vitamin A?
Yeah, which
then
is
people-
which is toxic in overdoses, but that doesn't matter. That's not a thing in RFK land.
That's right.
But yeah, get yourself some leeches so you can do some bloodletting. Inject that bleach into your veins and get that light you can shine up your ass, and you'll be just fine. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Not a thing.
That is not medical advice. So yeah, don't do that.
That was Uncle Bill's funny happy ending.
That was my funny happy ending. Yeah. So yeah, do not go out and do that.
Yes. All right. Well, to that point, we're going to try and come back Saturday with one of our special guests.
Very excited to have her on. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and we'll get some health information and research from her. So I look forward to that.
Yeah. So
All right,
it's gonna be
Billy.
great.
Well, good talking to you today, and
You too. You as well.
we'll catch up with you later.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. You too.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
See ya.